love and love life and life overall and the ascension energies and everything that is enlightenment and being yourself, as well as romance from your very own for the 5D Mystic Spiritual Self-Help crew here at HP. Let's continue as our lovely portal comes about. We're going to start with our lovely Sadhguru as he shares the spiritual process. It's not a career, it is a way of life. And he goes on to say, there's something within you which is longing to be spiritual. Spiritual does not mean looking up or looking down, or praying or going to the temple. Spiritual essentially means you are in an experience which is beyond the limitations of the physical. That means you are in a boundless space. This longing is always there in every human being. Either you are approaching it in installments, or you are consciously going for the ultimate. When you do achieve that capacity to want to do emotions, and so you want to be vulnerable and intimate, first here and then with another, you will know of some of this. Now, the other is a bonus, okay, which is why with our twin flame or flames, we're not going to be devastated if they don't want to romantically build snow people and mer people with us. The emotional plane is part of what you master as well as your mental. And those who are active, full-fledged today, as you tune in here, divine feminines, they don't have a question about anything regarding their oversoul. This is number one. You mystic, 5D, you won't question. You don't get lost. But that's because you have no ill will for any human being on the face of this planet. And that means you have what Jesus taught me and God and what Sadhguru teaches too. And you didn't need Sadhguru to promise. But if you did, that's where you understand what this promise of open-heartedness is. And I'll explain it in human terms. It's called you have healthy self-worth. And as Terry Real points out, it's for functional adults who do not have unfinished business. So you know how to speak in someone's face always. You have flaws and so do I. It's called integrity. It's a straightforward equation. Enlightenment is not emotionless. It's called no ill will because you are equanimous and because you have secure attachment of your 1-year-old. And then you can go out and enjoy people and all people. And so you know not only how to renew the depths of the emotional experiences with those who you deeply appreciate. And if you do have polyamory or monoamory romantically, you are going to be deepening that and growing more intimate because the two people choose to persevere together. As you choose to persevere as a whole person with your spiritual self-help, whether you do that through our stories here, one-to-one mentorship, masterclass, the spiritual retreat that will come down the line, you become fruitful every day of your life. Every 24 hours, you wake up and you get to breathe. You get to be here. You get to be with us. And you get to be in enlightenment. There's no laundry. There's emotions, open heart. Those 6 basic. You grow familiar with them thanks to doing mindfulness, mindsight, and mindset. Here, those exercises, those lifestyle, and that's that true spirituality process. You can do yoga. It's a ventral vagal portfolio of toning exercises, and that is resourcefulness for you. And it's not demons, but if there's a window of tolerance, then we know of good therapists, okay? So being resourceful is something you enjoy, and being hopeful, it's more than just hope. It's balancing, again, the equanimity of what an inner growth mindset with neutrality and duality, which is union and power. And that's from that Genesis, the beginning of that which is creation. I'm going to use these lovely cards. So creation allows for order and peace independently from chaos. That's why the Italian lifestyle, La Dolce Vita, is looked into, because there's a way, especially in Naples, Italy, with Vesuvius and Phlegraean fields, every day could be our last. And there's more passion than you can imagine. Now, that lovely order and peace comes with understanding. Understanding the emotional plane means you process, witness, you share it with each other, okay? So as ascension comes up, you get to do something called sharing with the people that want to hear what you got to share, and then you grow prosperous. You also can grow prosperous financially. Of course, we know some people are prosperous in many ways, but death and rebirth of your own inner world, which is why that Fibonacci brain, you don't feel changed once you're consistently use your name, yourself, and faith and wisdom continue to grow within you, within what you do, and then with spirituality and humanity as a whole. No resentment. We don't harbor anger. Those who still need good therapists, they get to go there, and when they're ready, they come and they have forgiven. And that means they have processed those inner child wounds completely. You do not have unfinished business when you know true love. Romance is not here if you don't know how to stick around with stability and equilibrium and then meditate with what emotions come up, but really you're going to explore them with me. You're going to allow yourself to transform, because that's what a secure attachment relationship is all about. That's when romance is happening. It's not by you hiding yourself. It's not by you closing your heart. It's not by you going silent. There's no in and out. Wholeness of people means that they wholly want to open up with truth, fairness, okay? And that's because that's emotional, mental, and physical intelligence. And that is the skill that you get to learn when you are doing life coaching, mentorship, and when you come and tune in here, that we chit chat again about these skills. You have a brain, you have an embodied brain. You know how to use it, you learn how to use it because you do inner exploration when those emotions come up. Okay, so alchemical force, if you ever heard of alchemy, when it comes to mystics and true spirituality, you understand that the positive and negative charges are those themes. The theme will be also where you get to deal with it day to day, and you don't get devastated if you have a prefrontal cortex on. If you have structural dissociation, then we want someone to support you to grow, expand the window of tolerance. And that's when the wisdom of the body, your divine feminine, will be able to be used by you, and then you'll learn alchemy. And that's why righteousness, it's not about you becoming rude to anyone. You become simply a person who knows how to say, this is who I am. I'm Little Mermaid with a tail. You don't like it, it's okay. And you have all of those child parts healed, and you're the inner child adult, okay? So again, when we are ascending, any of that which comes up, it does not need to be honed into as darkness of this pain. No. Or I'm being protected because I'm being rejected. Darkness and protection is something that you create as you move into the restorative embodiment, self-aware person, and you're a whole self. Use your human name, your solo self, your narrative, your relational, your core. There's no shame button. There's a whole 3-year-old heart. You can heal trauma. It is not unhealable. No nervous system is broken. No human being's brain is broken. Your embodied brain protects you in your environment. So only you can bring forth that passion that is from an inner child adult, which is your pure energy body, Prakriti. That's your whole 3-year-old heart. Never ages. As Sadhguru has presented, I can attest. All that is aging is my body. Justice is about you being able to be equanimous, is about you being able to treat all people with an open heart, independently from if they have porous boundaries, you've heard the stories or not. You will look at somebody with respect in their eye, because you are a piece of consciousness that expands. You don't feel changed, even though others might say you change. Once you are pure consciousness, Purusha, it's called embodying unconditional love. And what it is you being an ordinary human. It's called integration of the brain, your optimization potential. And it's called restored embodiment self. And that's your birthright. And it's called you being a securely attached person. So your hermit mode, hermitage, is not that you will have been finished once you achieve this inner and outer balance. You've not finished anything. As long as you're breathing, you're still alive, aren't you? You still have passion, don't you? And that's when our love life begins to take a lot of different turns and twists. So yes, love. It's one of a kind for sure when you have it within you and your whole self, and then when you get to share yourself with another person. And that is why, as our lovely Sadhguru has presented, creation is a dance. And so they have called creation a divine dancer. But he also talks to us about love. If you think you can half-heartedly love someone, there is no love. It is either 100% or 0. That doesn't mean you love one person, by the way. It just means that you know how to, one, love yourself. You know all of creation, and you are one. And that's something I learned from Jesus and God. And then I got to expand it. And then as my oversoul expanded and my clairs expanded, I got to become even more appreciative of that which is another life that I'm profoundly and deeply appreciative of and connected to and with. So on that note, we thank always all of our oversoul. And when you do have twin flame or flames or soulmates, the divine feminine always knows that we're getting to master our mental and our emotional and then our physical. And that's to create a whole relationship with that which is the sphere of, again, consciousness. I knew where I was at in my journey when I met the second and then third of my lovely twin flames. In fact, I actively foresaw, even though I was new with some of my clairs, meaning that I hadn't understood that I was with clairs already as a teenager, as a young adult, because I didn't dabble in any of that, which is the spiritual gifts or the clair land, and I didn't know anything about neuroscience and the physics and what I do today. So we can thank education, and that's enlightened me, and then the journey to loving myself first, that we can thank my mother and my twin and my younger sister in my home. So on that note, true spirituality is when you know that you will not be demanding of your partners or of anybody to emotionally regulate you, especially as you are projecting the childhood abuser, trauma stuff, trust breaks, okay? So that's where I have seen plenty, a bountiful of people talk to you about shortcuts. There's no shortcuts for childhood trauma. I acknowledge and become self-aware, number one. I get my self-lens, number two, and then I go and build good relationships with people who have healthy self-worth. That means they don't actively in any way, shape, or form want to re-traumatize me. There are people who have activities and they organize events and they are not attachment trauma informed. Here's Howard Schubner, MD. We help people go back in time, not to relive their experiences, which is re-traumatizing, but to go back in time to change their experiences, to get in touch and give compassion to their younger self. As a Reiki practitioner that's going to be integrating the mindfulness and life coaching practices, we already have a set of universal love transmission sessions for free on the YouTube playlist. There's a playlist. It has a title, so you can check those out. Now that I'm completing other aspects, I will then create a membership portfolio of them, but with in mind the aspects that are most important, which is that you know how to give compassion to yourself, that you are understanding that any moment of your focused attention with awareness and kind intention, any mindfulness or mindset practice involves the body. And so you want to be aware of your body. And if there's any sign of clinical dissociation, you know that you want to accompany your journey with a good therapist, because they have EMDR, child parts work, and somatics, sensory motor. So regaining a full visual, and really what it is walking yourself down a path so you don't re-traumatize yourself, because re-traumatizing is not going to get you anywhere. It's like you doing the same thing on repeat. And that's why we have complementary working partnerships, the ones of us who care, the life coaches, the content creators, the spiritual, the mystics. We don't tell you come and get consult with tarot and leave your therapist out of it. No, that actively is a bullshit statement I've heard. Like I've heard a shaman person say, don't go to therapy. I'll get rid of 10 years of therapy. Huh? Okay, look. That actively is not a responsible way to go about trying to help people. Also, what, as a therapist, your competition, I don't understand. Like, why would you make such a statement? That even without attachment trauma information, I knew Reiki is not a substitute for therapy, and that Reiki doesn't delete anything. What I mean is yeah, you know what? It's an intelligence, the essence of love in life, excuse me. So no matter whether you want to talk about it as Reiki, I've met people, they have not been initiated, but they are Reiki masters. One of them, not my therapist, but my tattoo artist. No, I don't have my own therapist. I have a network of therapists, though. And no, none of them, nope, no. None of the ones that I know somebody who is a qualified therapist that does this, the constellations, But I have also understood that Akashic record readers, which I am, do past life regressions. And I've heard of people telling people don't go to therapy. Once again, the don't go is completely something that, as a practitioner who cares about people, holistic, I would never say in a million years, don't go to good doctors. I'll say, go to good one, yes. And when I have met people who have had horrible experiences with therapists, I say they're not all like that. They're not all bad. The ones who are bad, they need healing too, I tell them. Just remember that. And remember, they're spiritual bypassers. They're not actual divine feminines. They are leading with their amygdala, and they're pissed off at who knows what, and they're channeling stuff, yeah, but they're completely, so 4D collective, they're completely in other places. Right now, they're not going through what I just finished sharing with you, because they have an active Elsa journey with a teenager who's spiting the 3-year-old of their own self that's stuck at the home, and the parents and the siblings and whoever knows, whatever it is that they are not actively sitting with the therapist to work through. Yeah. So we leave that alone. As Sadhguru has shared, we're not here to affect states of consciousness. The difference of how I'm saying it is, you can't walk a donkey to the well and make them drink the water. And there's 7 to 14 charming for the ones who don't want to know that you are healable, you're not broken, that your embodied brain protected you, your inner child protected you, the life that is within you still is there, and it wants to come out and play. So we'll close with this lovely Sadhguru. He has a lot of beautiful quotes. And please do remember to be compassionate. As my somatic therapists, teachers have taught me, every body is heading back home. So the people who will say yes to allowing their inner child to come out and play, they're going to know that they are a contribution to us. 1 second, I will find it. I'm not going to let you go, so here we go. So number 1, the life within you is not there to serve your body, mind, or emotion. The body, mind, and emotion are there to serve life. Your life. Use your human name. That's why he says when you overflow with humanity, divinity will descend. And I'm saying it as the self-help spiritual translator. Enlightenment the human way. Integration of the brain. No more insecurity stuff. No more Cusco shit. That's when you're going to know romance. Your contribution to the world is you. How you live, how joyful you are, everything has an impact. That's Sadhguru again. And as Dr. Daniel Siegel got taught, spirituality is a way of living with meaning and connection beyond the solo self. And here's another Bill O'Hanlon, LMFT. It's not enough to ask people about a positive experience. It's about savoring that experience and getting them to stay with it. So when you do know that human is not a resource, that a human being is a tremendous possibility, with the right nurturing, they will blossom into someone remarkable, Sadhguru. You'll also know why, as our lovely Dr. Daniel spells out, with integration, it is actively something that when you achieve it, he talks about it as a gift. And that's something else I want to read to you all, because it really is beautiful the way that he tells you that you might be the only secure attachment figure that a person will ever have been able to have. So he says, integration made visible, this is Dr. Daniel Siegel, is kindness and compassion. This road to integration can be incredibly energizing, because what you are doing and helping is someone heal. And it is really bringing out into the world the love and connection that is the birthright for all of us. Life as we move together to create more integration in our world. He says, you could be the person who is in a role as a secure attachment figure for an individual ever. And the meaning of that will continue as a deep source of soothing, where you have been a safe haven and continue to be a secure base for them. Where the safe haven, you have been an incredible source of going when they felt distressed, for every part of them to actually know that they could go to you with your presence, attunement, resonance, and trust. That's what we have. A securely attached divine feminine is present because we're curious, open, accepting, and loving. Means you be you, I be me. You're a shit. No, I'm a shit. We're all shit. So we don't have ruptures that end. We don't have splinters that end. We are functional adults. We don't cut and cancel people. We don't lose people. That's for Cuscos. That's for people who need a therapist. And then they can come on over and do self-help and personal development and true spirituality. That's why there's no saga or drama with our twin flame or flames or our soulmates, because a person who's a divine feminine, again, is a person who has their body and her child in the forefront and a prefrontal cortex online. The thoughts, emotions are not irrefutable facts. Our 14-month-old doesn't lead us. Our 3-year-old doesn't lead us, but we have no shame button. Our 16-year-old doesn't lead us. It's a 16-year-old. Anyone notice how we learn more? Okay, so presence is when you're in the now. That's why mindfulness, mindset, and mindset for me is straightforward and easy. And that's why as a practitioner, I can tell you, you choose when you're in awareness. Can you and do you want to move into tuning to yourself, resonating with me, and getting too easy with thinking and feeling? Or do you want the Zen master tells you about laundry? You get to choose. You either expand your window to more of welcoming emotions, and that counts also for your energy body. There's a light body, light body, light body, rainbow body, and then there's another 1, 2, 3. I did have my Kundalini awakening with one of my twin flames, and it's funny. I didn't know about it until now I do. And I did know about other things though, but that's private. So okay. Let me finish reading. You've been an incredible source of going when they felt distressed. So that means when they're upset, they can come to you. With presence, attunement, resonance, and trust. Trust is expanding consciousness, which is why we don't need to forgive each other in a way of, you betrayed me. No, none of that. We expand consciousness. And whenever we have emotions, we get to share them with our loved ones. And the secure base. The secure base is they have learned they can go out now and explore the world without using dissociation with the many facets of who they are now, all available to them in a continuity and coherence that is really helping their self feel full. So this is a person that has gotten out of DID and disorganized attachment, and so all of their parts, the self, he talks about the altars as parts of self, and they can finally, once you have healed, and a person does heal, that's why DID lady, I call her, she's writing a book to say you're not broken, but you're healable. Because their child parts, when someone has clinical dissociation and dissociative disorders, they have family in the head, is how Dr. Daniel Fox calls it, for borderline personality and narcissists, I think also. So their child parts, 16-year-old, yelling at the 3-year-old, 1-year-old crying, nobody's there, people being pissed. That's all anger. And you know, the thing about anger is the 1-year-old and the 3-year-old is angry because anger is about correction. Sadness is about connection. Fear is about certainty. So any human being who's a teenager, who's angry, and a grown-up, Patrick Tiahan, like he says, nobody has to forgive yet. You go through a process first. I'm not here. I'm here with the love stuff, but I totally know that anger is not faulty. The teenager is upset because their child parts didn't get the child-centric, soft, comforting environment. You know how heartbreaking it is to find out that all the 1-year-olds and 3-year-olds of people who don't go to therapy are going to be unalive, and you got a teenager who wants to blame Lucifer and demons and other stuff. So, as the Dalai Lama says, we can approach life with laughter and love, not in spite of all the suffering, but actually because of it, that we have a kind of responsibility to bring joy into the world. And he says, I'm going to say we have the ability, that's me, not him, not the responsibility, because we are not responsible for another person's nervous system's regulation and the way they want to use their mind to think things through. When you don't work to integrate your brain, the embodied brain, my lovely viewers, then you are choosing not to regulate yourself, okay? So we can all learn that we regulate, and if you do want to do that, that's where you come here to do more of it. But also what I want to share as we close on out, I was able to expand further from that statement to where we don't have the responsibility, we have the ability, because if you don't choose self-awareness, accountability, and regulation, I will be presented with your maladaptive child behavior patterns and your adaptive child behavior patterns. So I'll be presented with a Cusco And then a Pinocchio. Pinocchio might be on the island, might be turning into a donkey. It all depends. I definitely won't stand on the island with Pinocchio because that would be a sad thing to watch, and I'm not going to be part of any of it. But what I want to also add is that with the infinite balance that we do have, there is an active universal law. I don't know how to explain it. I'm just going to use dark matter and dark energy, which is why a divine feminine knows about our divine masculines, complementing us in all ways, shapes, and forms, and also of our oversoul. The wisdom of a divine feminine never leaves you, because you don't leave your inner child. You don't separate from unconditional love. This is me as a divine feminine right now. To those of you who are divine feminines, you don't have to be. We will know when we meet a divine feminine. We will know when we will be in the presence of a divine masculine or a masculine, and doesn't matter divine or not. I'm using them differently, but they're interchangeable. I, Maria, will know the minute that your neighbor does some shit to you if you are a feminine or not. And it will not be by you keeping a man or a woman or they with the cord. No, that's not what a divine feminine or pure consciousness will ever be. You get free will. There's a reason why free will, even if we look at determined and trauma, it will stand for those of us who have self-awareness, accountability, and regulation, which is why we say I have the ability. My responsibility is to my human herd, and so my responsibility is to the entire collective, which is where the divine masculines bring in the common sense when the divine feminine lacks it. Because they're the ones who say, okay, hold on a minute, let me show you, let me pick you up, and let me give you an aerial view of what we're seeing right now, so that you can actively understand, not from the ground, because from the ground you're not seeing very well, what pieces of our puzzle are actively participating, what pieces of our masculines are destroying, and they're getting kind of out of sorts, like when Kali, which is an out of sorts divine feminine. Okay, so the masculines and feminines, when they're balanced, they actively share visibility, and the divine feminine will know that, which is why no masculine is ever against the divine feminine. And that is the wisdom of the human being body. Like Pacha tells Cusco, bringing it back to planet Earth as personal development, human being here, me human, somatic empath to you. I look in your eyes, I have no trauma charges. I'm present, I'm attuning, I'm resonating, I'm trusting, because I'm expanding. Whatever attitude you got, you don't have a weapon in your hand, I'm good. You got a mouth? Oh, that's fine. You keep using it. If I start to notice anything, no, I will be gone before you even know it. If my gut says, no, this is not safe, I'm not there, physically. That's what a good gut of a healthy self-worth woman, man, or they that knows how to be without their biases, explicit, implicit, all that stuff. And they will still base it primarily on this. Yes, no, get out of here. But it's from here. So the gut tells us when it's unsafe. And the gut is always right about unsafety, at least for us. But we don't make assumptions or statements. And again, physically, I'm saying physically, because if somebody is emotionally lying, or they're hiding, or, you know, they're doing some shit in their brain, we don't care. I mean, I can say from my personal experiences, I don't find passive aggressive, like those instances where I shared with you all these stories of these different individuals. One is a friend of mine, as he came up to me and said, you know, you want it. Why don't you give it to him? Because he was pissed at me. I was like, no, not really, but okay. No, I said no. And I turned to my friend. I said, tell him that we're friends so he knows. And he left without doing anything, because that's what happens when a person is basically reactive with their unconscious, with their child part. And that's the 16-year-old with the 3-year-old who just says, oh. The other person, well, that's just a sad story that I'm not going to revisit. In the meantime, for our lovely energies, again, it's actively for my 5D lovely collective here and the entire 5D, because you're not mine, but we're all each other's. We actively make use of ascension energies with love and life and romance, and that is why being yourself and enlightenment are part of your journey, so you grow more loving of humanity, number one, with our lovely animal kingdom, number two. that involve successfully thinking entrepreneurs, not the ones who are Eeyores. Any Eeyore is not in the human love narrative that I was channeling and speaking to, and that I am speaking to, and that will navigate here. Here's the land of love. Here's the land of bliss. Here's the land of emotions. You want laundry? There's a Zen master for you who tells you how you won't be in enlightenment. I got news for you. It's easy to be in enlightenment when you have an open heart and a brain that works, and you say, I got a tail. You don't like it. Ciao, there's a door. I don't care if you don't like my tail. I know someone's going to like my tail and not make fun of me. Oh, yes, and know my worth and value, like snap and done. Yes, that's exactly it. Because their gut will be a good gut, and their heart will be an open heart, and their brain will be an open brain. Well, love doesn't ever leave anyone if they have it. If they don't have it, they can get it back. So again, 5D Mystic Spiritual Self-Help, come on over for enlightenment, being yourself, the fun way to do mindfulness, mindset, to do inner growth, all that is emotions and thoughts, and then to have fun with other pachas, because we're going to grow a community of men, women, and days who are having fun. Oh, successful entrepreneurs, please, please, yes, definitely. None of the ones who say there's a problem. No, there's a solution. And oh, you know why, by the way? So here's the other thing about integration of the brain. It's your optimized version, one. So you're using an actively intelligent, mentally and emotionally and physically speaking. You're an inner child adult. So you got your adolescent brain, which has that essence stuff I talked to about. So you are consistently in novelty, but not with shitty shit. Yes, it's not fucking people who are lifeless, one, that feel contempt, disgust, and shame after fucking you. None of that. Men, women, days. Nobody who's doing any chamber stuff, okay? Torture chamber. I'm just going to lay it all out. We don't have any of that. We have gooey, ooey, ooey. 1, 2, 3, 4. The child parts of us are all in our social engagement system. When our mammals, our history, they could sit all together, okay? So we're thinking creatively, all in different ways. Now, let me just be the bearer of good news. Every single brain is helpful. We just don't hang out with all of them. So the one focus, they have a purpose. And so do the, what are they called? The butterfly, the doll, the donkey. There's the enamored with their self, and those are all living in the illusion, and they're 4D and 3D. So again, every brain counts because we are collective. Just remember that. That's why, as I was saying, the wisdom is from the body. Maria, everyone has a heart, and everyone matters. And we are all hands on deck. No special keys needed. No special, no. We're all special. It's what we learn as a herd. And again, the divine masculines, they do say, okay, but look around there. Okay, fine. We'll figure it out. Life actually, no, we don't need to. So this is why the divine feminine doesn't hold anyone. This is also why divine feminine knows that life never sends you something that won't go well. This is why I love that I grew up with God. And I got taught anytime something bad happens, people turn around and they don't have faith anymore. Some of us don't turn around because we do have faith. And that's because that's exactly the point of why I am a spiritual. No matter how much I will bring in sciences, I'm a person of faith. I feel it in my bones. As I discussed with someone who said, no, you don't. Yes, I do. And that's another story. But when you are with the people who are romancing you, they're going to say, I like your tail. Can I see what else is at that other end of the tail? So the point is, we get creative because the novelty that the adolescent seeks as a mature, emotionally and mentally speaking human being is an active, smart human being brain. You get it? So the other ones, they're smart for other reasons. Oh, and they do serve a purpose, as I was saying. Every person's voice. That's why Ariel, she chose to give her voice up instead of say, hey, Eric, I have a tail, and here's my voice. She didn't believe in herself. And when she finally did, he said, of course I take you with a tail, you silly. It's like with Aladdin, Jasmine. Anyone notice? So here we don't do we need to get to love. No, we are love. I'm love, you're love. And then we say, so what are you doing tonight? Are you free? Do you want to hang out some more? Yes, I do. Cool. You don't? Okay, well, I'm sure I'll find someone to do romance with. Seriously. So come on back over. Smart brains, loving brains, stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable. The ones of you who want to do more love and blissfulness, the ones of you who want to join and have fun, you're welcome, of course. Again, our ascension energies get us to continue to expand. Oh, last note is that you do have this positive, negative charge. And it means something different for every person. But again, it's you owning the 1-year-old of you. So it's you becoming your own safe haven, secure base. Straightforward. Integration of the brain, restorative embodiment self, and you don't need to do it with self-help personal development. You can do it with therapy if you want, but my point is you will begin a journey, and as Sadhguru shares, spiritual process is not a career, it's an actual consistent lifestyle. And that's why that Zen master, he chose to stay within the pain and suffering because he continues to talk about emotions with laundry. Which means he didn't awaken to his divine feminine and say, I can soothe myself and not pout too much about it on the screen. But his voice is needed for the ones who need to hear that. Because, you know, some people, they want to, they say, I want to stay this way because, you know, people are fucked up and I don't want to go and do journaling and mindfulness and meditation. I want to stay avoidant attachment. Okay, avoidant. You have fun doing that. It's too bad your torture chamber it's healable in your inner child. Really, she wanted to come out and play, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, so again, please be kind, be compassionate. Let's not lecture anyone. And if you're a Pacha, you'll already know that because that's not love. Love life is you do you and I do me, and then we come and say, you're a piece of shit, you know that? You made me. No, you didn't make me, but you want to hear a funny story? Can I share with you a story? Functional adults this is what we do. So we say, hey, you know, this is what happened that day when you did that thing. Yeah, my emotions and my thoughts navigated here, and here, and this is exactly what I would like. Are you willing to give me what I want? And if they say yes, then we know it's a team. And if they say nope, you're like, oh, well, okay, thanks. But can we stay friends? And my polyamory crew, come on over. It's fun to be securely attached. And then we get to tease the people who call us masochists. And then they say we overestimate the usage of the brain of people. Oh, and then they say we don't love anyone. They also say we're traumatized. I know some people talk about their post-traumatic growth. That's for them to spell out. Some of us say, no, I have feelings, not trauma. Because I can tell because my body didn't get offline. I know panic attacks, people think of it as trauma. I know how people are going to interpret all of it. We know that. The mind feminines already know. They tell us again and again, no, you're lying. I know how to use my prefrontal cortex. I was explained how emotions work, and I actively know how it feels because I have introception. So some of us have introception in addition to the 5 senses, and that's why we become hypochondriacs. I'm just saying, come on over, mystics, divine feminines, masculines, all of you who want to love life. And we'll be back with more as these ascension energies are going to keep coming in. Have a good day. Like, share, and subscribe. If you know anybody who does want to do 5D mystic spiritual self-help with a woo-woo lady and who enjoys pseudoscience bullshit, it's not bullshit though. It's mindset, mindsight, and mindfulness. And it's all about the Fibonacci brain that expands. We do Dharma here, and then we also do karma, but we don't do karma. Not in the same way as those who do not lead with their higher self. So you'll notice who the Cuscos are. Believe me. Come on over. We'll pinpoint them and tease them all together. See you again soon.